So this week we've been in Arnold Air Force Base and Huntsville, Alabama. All right. Arnold Air Force Base is the first place that we went after Knoxville, Tennessee. It's south of Nashville. And what'd you think about that place? That was out in the woods and all that.
Well, I will say that if I was still a military wife and we were to be stationed there, I would be crying.
It was not. It was a small place. We went to the commissary and the PX, and the commissary, half the shelves were empty, and I bought some hamburger, and the guy said, "Oh wow, we got meat today." Wow.
In the campground itself, there seemed to be no supervising going on at all. It's out in the woods. We came in, and there was no camp host. The grounds look like they haven't been mowed in a long time.
Yeah, it wasn't kept up. It was very rustic, but
it was beautiful.
Had a great view of the lake.
And it's funny, as you get older, you get a little more cautious. In my younger days, I probably would have gone swimming in the lake.
Yeah.
But when I saw the sign that said, if you catch any catfish in the lake, do not eat, that it would make you very sick. So when I saw that sign, I said, I don't think I need to be swimming in that lake.
Like the three-eyed fish or the multi-eyed fish on The Simpsons. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, so we only stayed there a day or two, right? Okay, and then 2 or 3 days.
Right.
And then we went to Huntsville, Alabama. Oh, what? Were you gonna say something else?
Yeah, and another thing, it was our first time that we had really encountered any severe weather where we were really worried, because we was heavily treed, and with the storms coming through and tornado warnings, it was a little scary. So the most important thing that I would suggest, that if you're traveling, you really need to make sure that you're in tune with the weather, so you know how to react. Yeah.
You know where to run in the middle of the night. Okay, so yeah, that was rainy. What about and then we drove to Huntsville, right? Alabama. And
we got lost. But we recovered from that. We realized when we said in the directions that we wanted to go to Gate 8, it was taking us to Gate 8 of the airport.
Of the airport. So we got this big old rig driving out through the airport almost to the last stop before you can go to departures. Yeah, that was not fun. But we overcame, turned around. But you know what was cool about that was that by making that mistake, we passed the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, which you could see from the side of the interstate, and it would look so cool that we had to go. You know, so that was something that I wasn't expecting. I didn't know anything. I thought we just stop in Redstone Arsenal for a few nights and then just keep on trucking, keep on going. But that was a pleasant surprise.
And the camp itself at Redstone, it was the facilities were nice. The only thing that I would have wished is it had trees.
Yeah, it was a parking lot, but all of the all the RV spots were level and concrete pads and big enough to fit any size rig. You know, I mean any size rig. They were huge. And I mean, I saw a guy with about a 30-foot trailer and 5 cars sitting on his pad, so they were huge.
And you know, talking about that guy, it was kind of neat to see how people with their different rigs. He was telling us I asked him about his rig because it hardly had any windows, and he was explaining to us that it was a FEMA trailer that he bid on, and he got it for $2,000. And so you know, that's at the point where he just knew he wanted to get out camping, and he just got what he could, which was really cool.
Yep. And then while we were there, like I said, we went to the U.S. Space Center and U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and that place was cool. It had a shuttle sitting on top of 3 booster rockets sitting out in the yard. It had full-size Saturn rockets. It had a full-size Saturn rocket separated by stages inside of a building, hanging from the ceiling. It was incredible. The place was really neat. They had a lot of because it's on Redstone Arsenal. They had a lot of military vehicles, but it was all like rocket launchers and multiple rocket launchers and Pershing missile launchers. Just it was incredible.
So if anyone knows me, you know that I love a deal. And so what really made me happy about the Space Center was it was Mother's Day, and I asked them when we were purchasing the tickets, which was $15 a piece or $25? $25 a piece, sorry about that. And I asked, did they offer any discounts like military, senior citizen? And they were like, no, but are you a mother? And I said, yes. And they said, well, you get in free. So thank you, Megan and Autumn, for making me a mother.
Yep, that was nice.
And you know, speaking of which, with it being Mother's Day, I was a little sad that I wasn't around my kids. So to keep my spirits up, after the Space Center, there was a botanical gardens that also was offering a Mother's Day. And Paul wasn't really interested in walking in the gardens.
I'd seen some gardens. It wasn't that, I wasn't impressed by what the pictures I saw,
So I had him drop me off, and I enjoyed the gardens myself, which was really, really nice because they were having some Japanese lantern festival, and it was really a cool thing to see.
Did you get any photos of it?
I did.
We'll see. Okay, I haven't seen any yet.
I took a lot of photos. Or
did you really?
I think what I really did was I did Facebook Live.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Of it.
No photos. No video.
And so after Mother's Day, it was on Monday that we packed up and we left there, and we were going to Mississippi.
Yeah, okay, so that's the next video is Mississippi. All right, and because this whole week was getting as far as we've gotten so far to Huntsville. All right, so.
And it was kind of nice being on a military base because then I was able to stock up on food very reasonably, and
their commissary was much better.
It was very nice. And I also like to go into the P exit. We were trying to find another zero gravity chair because I had fallen in love with my husband and I was coveting it. So
she fell in love with me and was coveting my chair. That's nice.
And so on Mother's Day, I said, can we go to Ollie's and see if we can find a zero gravity chair? And guess what? We found one, and it was very reasonably priced. It was $30.
Actually, I think the sign said 19 or 17 bucks, something like that. I think normally they were 40 bucks.
They were normally 40 bucks.
But the sign had them on sale for $17.99.
So that was a really good thing.
Yeah.
So if you have an Ollie's near you, they have some cool stuff in there.
They have some cheap stuff in there. It's cheap.
But cool.
Yeah. Yeah, some of it's cool, but it's cheap. All right. Anyway, so let's wrap this up and head on down the road and do something else, okay?
See you down the road.
Bye.